This is a third stimulus check update. I have a lot of important information to share with you. The good news is that the House Budget Committee just voted and advanced the COVID relief bill, which can change the timeline. I'll give you the details on that. I'll play a few clips and updates from the White House as well as President Biden regarding the current stimulus, and also how you could lose out on your $1,400 stimulus check by filing your taxes early. Then I'll answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. I hope you're having a great day. If you appreciate these updates, then hit the like button down below. So Memphis fathers are getting together and they're pushing for a change after their stimulus checks have been garnished for child support. And in Missouri, I mentioned this the other week, that they intercepted $78 million in stimulus money from people who owe child support and gave it to the custodial parents. Let me know down in the comments below, is this okay? Should this money go to the custodial parents, or should these parents be able to keep their own stimulus checks? Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. So next, let's talk about how Steve Scalise, Republican, he pointed out a few flaws in the COVID relief bill. Now, this big package isn't perfect. There definitely needs to be some improvement, unnecessary spending. He pointed out that the money, $130 billion that's going for school reopening, doesn't mean that the schools aren't going to be reopening. He says that they're afraid of standing up to the teachers union, that this money could go to the schools and they don't even have to open the schools. So here's a clip of Steve Scalise, and then I'm going to play you the response from the White House to this clip.
Right. I strongly agree that education should be run at the local school system. In fact, I had a call just this week with hundreds of parents around the country who are leaders in their local communities at getting schools reopened. This was a wide swath, Republicans, Democrats, Independents, parents who care about their children and demand that schools reopen. But what Jen Psaki just said is, I think, the biggest concern. That is, they're saying they want to pass over $100 billion of new money that's not even tied to schools reopening. So the real question is, look, my colleague Ashley Hinson from Iowa had a bill that would say if they get new money, it has to be tied to reopening schools. I think that's what parents are demanding all across this country, and yet they rejected that proposal. So the question remains, why do they need hundreds of billions of dollars of new money from the federal government if they won't reopen schools? There's money out there already. There's over $1 trillion in relief package money that's still available across the board without this bill, this almost $2 trillion bill that even Larry Summers said would wreck our economy. So let's target the money. But this idea that Washington should be giving out $100+ million of new money to schools and not even requiring them to reopen, that's an insult to those children who are demanding that they go back to school.
Let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. The $130 billion for school reopening has been branded as money for schools to reopen, but that's not necessarily the case. Here's the response from the White House to this issue.
Has the White House reached out to any Republicans who have not yet said how they're going to vote?
We have been working the phones, in touch with Democrats and Republicans and their offices through the course of the weekend.
COVID bill, a CBO analysis suggested that only a small portion of the $130 billion for schools would actually be spent in the current fiscal year. What exactly is the White House doing to ensure that money would actually mean that schools could potentially open in March and April before the academic year ends?
Well, a big part of the challenge here for a number of schools is that they need, in order to operate responsibly and given the threat of budget cuts, they need to obligate funds according to spending plans rather than exhausting all balances as soon as they're received. So the challenge here is, how do they plan ahead, right? They can hire, if they need to hire additional teachers now for smaller class sizes, or if they need to hire bus drivers, or if they need to do improvements to their facilities. They want to be able to know, understandably, just like any business or company, that they will be able to employ teachers next year and the year ahead. So that's why this funding is so essential, is because they need to be able to plan ahead so that they can make the improvements now, do the hiring now.
Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Should these schools be forced to reopen if they're going to get all of this money? I'm really curious about your thoughts. Now let's get on to the big news. Good news as well. So the House Budget Committee votes to advance their COVID relief bill. So basically what happened here is we're at the final stages of the bill being passed. It was a 19-16 party line vote, and John Yarmuth, who was the committee chairman, said, "We are in a race against time. Side note, not sure what type of race Congress is ever in besides election races, but they're definitely walking instead of running. Anyways, aggressive, bold action is needed before our nation is more deeply and permanently scarred by the human and economic costs of inaction. So basically what this means is we are in the reconciliation process. We are at this point right here where the budget committee just voted and passed the package, which means it can now go for a full House vote on the floor. So there are no more excuses. Everybody has seen the bill. They voted on it. It's approved. Now the House could actually have a vote today if they wanted to. It's official. They can vote on it. But will they? Let's go over a timeline really quick. Here are the few key dates. So they said that they were going to vote on the bill Friday, February 26th. Now, it can happen a little before, it could happen after, they can do it over the weekend, but that is when they would have to vote on it. Assuming they do, they vote on it before the end of the weekend, then March 2nd to the 5th is when the Senate has to take up the legislation, and then they could change it. If they make any changes to it, that might affect the timeline. But if they just say everything is good as is, they could vote on it. Then the president signs off on it in early March and we get the stimulus checks mid-March. Now, if the Senate makes changes to this bill, then the House is going to have to vote on it again between March 8th and the 12th. And then it'll go back to the Senate and it should pass right away in the Senate. Then the president signs off on it. So what this is all counting on right now is for the House to just have that stinking vote already. It's been months, it feels like forever that they've been saying they're going to do this. But the point is that they are eligible to have the vote. The Democrats can pass this through reconciliation. They don't need any more Republican support. There's no more obstacles, no one else to consult with. They could just have the vote right now. But the big question is, will they have this vote? Let me know down in the comments below. Are they going to drag their feet, make up more excuses? Are they playing games with the American people? Or do you think they're going to take action and actually vote on it this week? Let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. Next up is President Biden talking about the PPP and giving a few other updates. Here it is right now.
The American Rescue Plan is a rescue plan for America's small businesses and America's mainstream businesses. And we need Congress to pass it right away. I'm grateful to the Senate and the House for moving so quickly. And I want to make it clear, I'm prepared to hear ideas about how to make the American Rescue Plan better and cheaper. But we have to make clear who we're helping and who it would hurt. I always try to help people like Tim and Pilar and all the country's small businesses and families, the workers, the communities that depend on them to survive, recover, and grow. And it's my hope that as Democrats and Republicans who have backed the PPP program, that Democrats and Republicans will back the American Rescue Plan. The vast majority of the American people, more than 70% of the American people, including a majority of Republicans, want us to act based on all the polling data, act big and act quickly. Major economists, left, right, and center, here and abroad, say we should focus on smart investments that can make jobs available and focus on the jobs and in the people, prevent long-term economic damage to our nation and to strengthen the economic competitiveness going forward. In fact, an analysis by Wall Street's firm Moody's estimates that if we pass my American Rescue Plan, the economy will create 7 million jobs this year. This year. We've also been in constant contact with the mayors and governors, county officials, members of Congress of both parties in every state. That includes a letter, I might add, from more than 400 mayors from big and small cities, Democrat and Republican. They agree we have to act and act now. They understand we're not going to get our economy back in shape and the millions of people back to work until we beat this virus. Getting our economy back means bringing our small businesses back. And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm doing today. We're going to focus. The program ends at the end of March, but for the next 2 weeks, the only folks who can apply for that PPP money are businesses with fewer than 20 employees. Thank you very much.
So the good news here is that this money for the PPP is going to be limited to businesses 20 employees or less. So that means no more Kanye West, Tom Brady, the Lakers, or Shake Shack, or any of those big companies are going to get in and get access to this money yet. It's just for small businesses, 20 employees or less, which I think will help out the small businesses and the economy. Next, let's talk about how you could lose your $1,400 stimulus check by filing taxes early. So basically, the way it works is that the eligibility for the $1,400 stimulus check is going to go off of whatever taxes that the IRS has on file. So the way that you would not get a $1,400 stimulus check is if you're a single filer and you made $100,000 or more, a couple who earn $200,000 or higher, or head of household with an income of $150,000 and up, and that is on your 2020 tax return. If you got less than that on your 2019 and that's already in the system, then you're good. And also, side note, if you made this money, a $1,400 check, may not even be as of need compared to someone who made $20,000. If you're making $100,000, $200,000 a year, congrats to you. You're doing well off than most of the other country, and maybe a $1,400 stimulus check is the least of your worries. Next, I'm going to answer the questions you leave for me in the comments. Shirley Sales asks, will senior citizens get the $200 a month? At this point, we're not sure because President Biden made that promise, campaigned on it, it's still on his website. It's not in this stimulus package, maybe after he'll address it, but so far we don't know what's happening with that. Trinidad Gutierrez asks, I'm on workers' compensation and have been on a non-filer to the IRS. Will I now be required to file taxes? I did receive 2 EIP checks so far. So if you already received the 2 stimulus checks, there's no reason to file your taxes now. You're going to get the 3rd stimulus check the same way you got the first 2. The only reason you would file your taxes to claim the rebate recovery credit is if you did not receive the 1st or 2nd stimulus check. But since you did, no worries, you're going to get the 3rd stimulus check the same exact way. Francine Morero asks, can you please explain the child tax credit, please? If you already explained it, couldn't find the video on it. Tell Bella I send her air hugs, definitely will. So, referring to the child tax credit, basically, at this point, you're going to get $2,000 at the end of the year as a child tax credit. That's the current system, that's how much you're going to get. But with this new bill passing, you're going to now get $3,000 for kids 6 and older, and then $3,600 for kids 6 and under, or 5 and under. So what that means is that you're going to get that on a monthly basis starting July 1st. So you get $300 per month or $350 per month per kid, depending on their age. 250 or $300 per month, depending on their age. So once the bill passes, there'll be a lot more details on it, and I'll let you know exactly more on it and what's happening. Also, I just want to point out, if you see these type of comments, this is not me talking about Bitcoin and investing and maybe click this link or call this number. That is not me. I do not talk about Bitcoin. Also, there'll be a check mark next to my name if I do respond to comments. So this isn't me. Anything, if you ever see this, just report it as spam so no one else falls for these scams. Ouija Morgan asks, I want to read the full bill with the stimulus package. How can I get it from the internet? So you just type in American Rescue Plan bill in Google, and you'll find the full bill there, and it'll be like in a PDF form, and you could read it. Good luck, 591 pages with a bunch of legal jargon. I tried reading it, I read sections of it, but it's a very difficult read. But it's definitely good to stay up to date, especially with all of the unnecessary COVID relief money or unnecessary money that's not COVID related in that bill. Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today. To brighten your day a bit, here is my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hello guys! I just wanted this up so nice for you guys because I know you guys were gonna come on here. So, guys, I just really love you. You guys make my day. And guys, don't do the things that you don't want to do. Don't force yourself to do something. But other guys, you guys can do whatever you want, at least if you want to do it.
And if you haven't already, you want to check out my book, The 50-Day Success Journal. I'll have a link to it down in the description below. I have it at a low price right now, $5.50. If you were interested in buying it, I'm going to change that price March 1st. Also, in exchange for feedback, if you buy it, I'll actually reimburse you the $5.50 plus shipping or any other taxes or fees involved in it. I'll completely reimburse you, just trying to get as much feedback as possible. This is going to help you figure out how to achieve your goal in less than 50 days. It's an accountability partner. Very proud of it, very passionate about this type of stuff. So if you want that, there'll be a link down in the description below. And if you want to keep the positive vibes going, feel in a better mood, change the course of your day, change your mindset, which will then, of course, change your future, click this video over here. It's basically about how to create a positive mindset, which is going to affect the rest of everything else in your life. So click that video right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.